Biden says, he's clean. What does that mean? So she's really clean. But when you look at the CRT, there's no way biracial families or biracial marriages can even identify or have a conversation about critical race because they are in a pickle, especially with the children. I have a white husband, a black mama, and biracial children. That dynamic in itself needs to find its own lane because you cannot speak for either side because clearly it does not matter to you. I'm sure anybody that graduated from Harvard with a master's degree, whether they are suffering or had discrimination or not, it's okay because they're good. But when you look at the race as a whole, we don't have any black anti-defamation leagues. We do now in the Better Black America, SEDCA, Social Economic Development Coalition of America. We got our civil rights movement dismantled. And then now, 40, 50 years later, we're looking at the Confederate Party, the party of slavery, America's original sin, the Democratic Party, the Dixiecrats, and regardless if they flip, the foundation can't change. If I planted some roses, I can't say they're carnations. The seed was sown. And no matter how hard they try or how manipulative they are, they're only fooling themselves because the American people are smarter than that. And we should be grateful that God gave us an opportunity to be living in these days and times so we can actually challenge unabated. Because I can't imagine being fearful because we never really identified with the fears that was bestowed in the generations before us. I don't know what it's like to see a sitting president get his head blown off on national television. I don't know what it feels like to see a civil rights leader get shot. I don't know how it feels to see a presidential candidate in the primaries going to be the liberator for the black community, is going to take it to the next level, get shot in the stomach on national television after a primary and had a private discussions and was talking about race and said, what if we went to heaven and God was black? And then any and everything that we had going, we can't even be black no more. So my point is to appeal to your spirit. Because a Better Black America, the acronym for Better Black America is ABBA, Abba Father. We are Christian, non-denominational, because there are some books out there that I want to read that they have not allowed us. I'm talking about BC, before Christ, like Judaism books, Hebrew books. Just like a lot of people, when we talk about names, they call Jesus, Jesus, but in Hebrew, there was no J's. His name was Yahweh, YHWH. If I go to a whole nother country, you don't change my name. Keep it the same. But they did it for a reason, because the Hebrews, they realized that that name was sacred, and the group that attaches themselves with that name, and if it's the true children of the Son of God, then game is over. So I'm basically letting you know that the game is over. We are adults. We are smart enough and we're wise enough to do what our forefathers, our parents, grandparents, great-grandparents was not allowed to do. And that's to stand up for righteousness and stand up for the humans, all humanity. And when I say for all humans, all humanity, it's the fact that the humans that's in control right now somehow don't love a certain group of people. And we know that we are, the people. This is why I can't wait for the Harvards the Harvard Society, to challenge the Ivy League system to declassify this information, because the truth shall make us free. And anyone that's hiding the truth from us is our enemy. It's like we're living in a world and we know the devil is running it, but we're not going to call that devil a devil. OK? Because God is in control. The devil gets in between God, and basically he's there to deceive us, to manipulate us, to play some games. And if we look at political science, we look at the history, it's crazy how a politician could have a track record that is so dark, so disgusting, and so sick, and somehow we'll elect him as president and he could find 85 million votes. And right now, there's not one person that will go on record and support Joe Biden 100%. They won't. They will basically point the finger at other presidents. Oh, Donald Trump this, and he did this, and he did that. No. If you cannot defend your vote, then you shouldn't even want it to be out there. Now, impeachment, the Democrats impeached Donald Trump because the world was in a calm. You can't impeach Joe Biden right now. There's just too much going on. And he is continually to basically forget about who he is and where he comes from, because he is the leader. And he's on record this week saying it's a new world and we're the leaders. And he's talking about America. No, you're the leader of this new world. You are. We don't support that because we know without a shadow of a doubt, we're not going to survive in this new world if we don't right the wrongs that the Democratic Party has put in place. Andrew Johnson put in the criminalization clause. And we're clearly seeing even abroad that Western indoctrinations have racism and whites around the world looking at the black race and seeing us as subhumans from a group perspective. I'm not talking about the beautiful woman that's having her confirmation hearings, and I pray to God that she gets confirmed. We're not talking about her. We're not talking about Barack Hussein Obama. We're not talking about LeBron James and Dwayne Wade. We're not talking about Condoleezza Rice. We're not talking about Bob Johnson. We're not talking about you. We're talking about the group. Now, if you are just for yourself, just speak for yourself, do your thing, go in your house, close your doors, don't even participate, because we don't want that energy. But there are some people who have reached a time in their lives where their purpose is more important than anything else, and really and truly understand that our purpose is people, in which we're passionate about, which will actually yield an income that will be sustainable so we can actually operate outside of the main system. But fear will stop anybody from doing that. This is why having conversation with older people who actually still have that trauma of watching the civil rights movement die and watch black culture die, and to be rebranded as African Americans and basically comply and push the narrative to us, we reject it. We don't want to eat your poison. We reject Jim Clyburn. You know Joe and Joe know you. We knew what Joe Biden was capable of doing. And now he's doing Lyndon B. Johnson. I'm going to go ahead and go on record and pat my back. Yeah, I nominated the first black woman. No, you didn't. No, you didn't. And if you think that's not, if you think that's a lie, even though you see it on CNN and MSNBC and all of this, that is a lie. George W. Bush nominated Judge Janice Rodgers Brown to serve in the United States Circuit Court of Appeals in D.C., which is the second highest court in the land and is responsible for the majority, if not all, our Supreme Court justices. California State Supreme Court justice stepped out of the box to basically become a United States Supreme Court justice, but Joe Biden made sure that didn't happen because he don't want them Democrats, he don't want them Republicans having any remnants of having blacks involved, even though he had Condoleezza Rice and Colin Powell at the time. It's crazy. It's kind of like the Democratic Party will be willing to change its whole identity to basically reflect in history not as dark as it was. They're cleaning it up. Because you can go back to the lost cause when the Civil War was lost. And somehow we was left and abandoned down south, and the Confederate soldiers and generals was able to put some stuff together and get us back into slavery. We're still dealing with it right now. So there's no other group in the world that's looking to go back in history and see where the system was flawed. So we gotta break it down, and we're gonna build it back better, because we can't move forward as a race, creed, or culture with a criminalization clause in the Constitution that pretty much have legalized slave labor. And in a world where, we're looking to raise income and have jobs, everyone must go legit now. No one should be suppressed or treated inhumane, even if you have committed a crime. You do your time. But it's strange how the Democratic Party switches up. And usually the truth is solid. A lot of times they say I'm all over the place because my mind moves fast. So I'm learning how to be specific with some of these videos or some of these podcasts, but there's a plan. Just like 2 Chainz says, it takes 2 or 3 listens to get his rap flow or his style. So, and then E40 said, maybe you're listening too slow, but if you really want to understand, it's all predicated on the science of politics, political science from a social and economic perspective. And this is what a better Black America is. And when you see Bill Glover's show, that's little me, more of my personality, sports, entertainment, politics, entertainment, sports, and politics, not limited to current events, happenings, hot topics, trendy topics, etc. But we have to have skin in the game when it comes to being a part of what's going on in America. And this is where I am stepping into the arena. So within days, we're going to be making some announcements, because we have to use this opportunity while they're distracted, while President Joe Biden is leading the New World Order. We reject it, and we're going to separate ourselves because we don't want to be guilty by association. To the republic for which it stands, one nation under God. America is not a democracy. Over 350 newly freed slaves fought and was victorious over their own oppressors to become free. And to see the president of the United States, Abraham Lincoln, get assassinated, and Andrew Johnson, his Democratic Southerner Confederate predecessor, added the criminalization clause, which is political, and we're still dealing with this till this day. And we can't even have a conversation about critical race. Biracial people are gatekeepers to critical race, because the white father don't want to be a colonizer, and the black woman don't want to be valued as less than. But that's their story. It's time for them to hear our stories. And like I said, I could be long-winded. I could go on and on, but that looks like that's our time. Now, just go ahead and get you on the same sheet of music. Go to Conservatives of America-COA, Conservatives of America-COA.org. We want your nickels and your pennies, and this is what's funding and driving this operation. Conservative does not mean Republican, but liberal absolutely means Democrat. Peace out.